my sweet souls. I want to tell you something and show you something. As I've been working on this painting, it's a process, really. And you know what? Like, it's so funny because I never know what comes true. I don't have an agenda. I don't know how it's gonna look like. I just know that I have to tap into what I feel, what kind of colors I want to work with, what kind of shapes I need to express, and how it feels in my body, that particular feeling. So that's how it's gonna kind of like take the shape of the feeling. And so then I'm keep working through it, and something it's being more and more revealed and brought to the surface. And as it's going through the process, it just keeps changing, and I can see different layers. I can make a little bit different sense of what is happening, and it's kind of like a sense of reflection back of what I'm processing inside. So, why am I saying this and sharing this with you is that I have found something very interesting these couple weeks or months or so. I have been able to tap into very young part of myself, not like very young, 5-year-old self. And I got the chance to meet her and bring her back to me now. And as she's coming back to my life, more and more she wants me to paint with her. And so I came back from my session with my friend and my teacher, and so I'm like, okay, so let's paint. And so we sit down, and she's kind of like sitting in front of me, right? And as any 5-year-old self, or little one, she doesn't care what's there, what we're doing. She just wants to do whatever she wants to do, very carelessly, very innocently. And she just comes and throws stuff on a paper. As myself, as I'm channeling the energy of her, I'm like watching her drawing through me. And as this Pavla, I'm looking at the strokes, and I'm like, oh, this is not a good idea. Don't do this. This is gonna like screw the whole picture. We cannot go there. And I'm just like in a state of shock. My heart stops like beating for a second, and I'm like, oh, this is not a good idea. How am I gonna ever get out of this? Am I ever gonna fix it? But I have to let her, right? Like, I have to let her express, because she's been suppressed for really, really long time by me. Because I wanted to make things pretty, and because I wanted to make sense of them, because I wanted to be responsible and not cause a lot of mess and clean up and all of these things. Why we adults, why we are who we are, and why we suppress these little ones inside of ourselves, or we disown or disconnect from it. And so there's something very powerful to connect and paint with the parts of ourselves that are genuinely, completely don't care, disconnected and unattached to what is this gonna look like, and just throw a stroke. What I'm doing though, and what the beauty is, that when she comes through me, she does things that I would have never done. And so I'm learning in new ways how to paint with like different symbols or different way through her. Freedom of expression without genuinely caring how it's gonna fit or look like. And I want to say there's something so freeing to be in that state and express it through the paint without genuinely caring. And what's happening through that is that she starts to become more and more within myself, and lives through me in my life. And I start to see how she changes me a little bit from the perspective that I think I'm getting to a state to not to care that much. Absolutely expect that I'm gonna make a mistake, that I will not know what I'm doing, that I will have to fix it and work through more and more as I'm growing. And it just allows me to actually do things that I would have never done from this careless. It's not like careless, like I don't care, but like maybe carefree, it's a better word to say, place that these innocent children actually have when they play before we get, to be somehow controlled, like you cannot do this, you have to, we had to do all these other things. And so if we step back and invite these parts, I find that there's a tremendous freedom that makes us somehow even more creative and more bold and more expressive and daring to genuinely live without that much self-loathing and self-blame. And instead, this is 5-year-old invitation of an opportunity to express something just creative, just without needing to be anything certain way. So, invitation for you. Would love to see if you can share with me, if you want to, something what you could create if the 5-year-old comes through you. And it could be through music, it could be through painting, it could be through dancing, it could be through poetry, it could be through gardening, it could be through cleaning a closet that might not gonna be that clean. It could be freedom in so many ways that we get to express freely without being attached, how we look, how this is gonna look, how our lives are supposed to look, and just genuinely be real.